of which is a one of which is a principal supply. It is very carefully used word here is one of which is principal supply, right? And and in a statute, we rarely see such a thing that illustration is also incorporated. In GST Act, an illustration has been incorporated saying that uh, when a goods are packed and transported with insurance, the supply of goods, packing material, transport, and insurance is composite supply, and supply of goods is a principal supply. And then we come to the definition of mixed supply, which says that, which is defined in subsection 74 of section 2, which says that mixed supply means two or more individual supplies of goods or services or any combination thereof made in conjunction with each other by a taxable person for a single price, where such supply does not constitute a composite supply. Here the three important words which I have highlighted here is of very important use. Individual supplies made in conjunction, single price, does not constitute a composite supply. And as in the composite supply, similarly an illustration has been given in the mixed supply as well, which says that when there is a package of different canned food, sweets, chocolates, dry fruits, juices and all for a single price, that is mixed supply, and that will not be a composite supply. So if we carefully compare both of this definition, we will find that composite supply is two or more taxable supplies, where mixed supply is two or more individual supplies. Composite supplies are naturally bundled, supplied in conjunction, but this word naturally bundled is missing in mixed supply. It is not used, even though they are supplied together in case of mixed supply also. Further, if we see carefully in mixed supplies, it talks about single price, which is not there in composite supply. And if we see carefully composite supply, it says one of which is principal supply. So it emphasizes that there are supply of two or more goods or services, and one of which is principal supply, right? And in mixed supply, it carefully says that if it is not composite supply, then it will be a mixed supply. Dear friends, as we are aware, this bundling concept is not new to us. It was again present in case of service tax, even though we do not have any guidelines in the GST. But for the sake, we have education guide in case of service tax, which has given us some criteria to identify whether a particular services was naturally bundled or not. There was some reference in the service tax education guide. I would also like to discuss these references because this will be of highly use for us in discussing our cases, and this will again act as a reference. Again, the principles will hold good in GST regime as well. So the service tax education guide para 9.2.4 tells us manner of determining whether a services are bundled in the ordinary course of business or not. And they says that whether a services are bundled in the ordinary course of business would depend upon normal and frequent practices followed in the area of business to which service relate. And then it says there are three criteria given. How the consumer perceptions is again plays a very important role in determining whether a services are naturally bundled or not. Then it says how the majority of the service provider in that respective area act or provide their services will again determine, will act as a factor whether these services are naturally bundled or not. And then it says that nature of various services in a bundle, where one of the services is the main services and other services are incidental or ancillary. That is, one incidental and ancillary services are in the nature which helps in better enjoyment of the main services. Then this, if we can satisfy any of this criteria, this shows that this is an indicators which shows that these services are naturally bundled. Then it gives certain other illustrative indicators. It says not determinative, but it's an indicative of bundling of services. And then it says that generally, in case of bundling of services, this is a single price or the customer pays the same amount. It says irrespective the volume or the consumption pattern, the customer has to pay a same price, right? So if this is the case, it will be called as naturally bundled. So let's say three or four services are given together, irrespective of the irrespective of the consumption of each services, the customer is required to pay the same price for it. Then it says how they are advertised also would play an important element. If they are advertised normally as a package, will again be an indicator to show that they are naturally bundled. Then different elements are not available separately. If the different elements of composite supplies are not available separately, then again it shows that it's a part and parcel of bundle supply. And the last one, it says the different elements are integral to one overall supply. And if one or more supply is removed, the nature of supply would be affected. It says that this combination of services, is giving relevance to a description of services. But if one of the element is removed, then overall service will be affected. Then after giving this indicator, it has a disclaimer which says that no straight jacket formula can be laid down. Each case has to be individually examined in the backdrop of several factors. And we see that in various AARs, whenever we go to, whenever we mentioned that there are these indicators present, and that is why they are naturally bundled. Generally, we see that the authorities give this disclaimer also reference and say that they are not conclusive. They are just indicators, and no straight jacket formulas can be applied. It is even mentioned in the service tax education guide. So it acts as a both ways word to us. So friends, again, if we compare composite and mixed supply, they are naturally bundled, not naturally bundled. One of them is principal supply. There are two or more individual supply for a single price. And in case naturally bundled will be called as composite supply, and two or more individual supplies mixed together for a single price will be called as mixed supply. Then we have section 8, which tells us how the treatment will go on. And this tells us that if it is a case of a composite supply where two or more supplies, one of which is principal supply, shall be treated as a supply of such principal supply. So all the treatments will be given of such principal supply. And in case of a mixed supply, a particular supply which attracts the highest rate of tax will be given. The treatment will be of highest rate of given, that is given in section 8. Now, with this background and guidelines which we have studied, now let us come to different case studies to discuss the various principles which we have just now seen. The first case is relating to an hostel where a particular entity has established an hostel facility in Kota city of Rajasthan, where they are providing accommodation services to the student. They are providing facilities of food, play area with equipment and gym, etc. The room will be shared by 3 students, and a lump sum consideration of 20,000 per month will be charged from each student. Neither the company wish to charge any separate amount for ancillary food facility from the student, nor there is any bifurcation of charges for residential accommodation along with food facility to the student. So the food facility is not available standalone, and there is no bifurcation even given in any of the rate chart or anything else. Further, there will be no option provided for the student to opt for hostel accommodation without food facility. All the students would pay consolidated amount of 20,000 per month, whether they use food facilities or not even. Similarly, there are no option for any person to take only food without being a resident of an hostel. In this background, there is a small questions. Is it a composite supply? Is it a mixed supply? What will be the rate of tax in both scenario? What will be the HSN codes and description of services printed on the invoice? How the place of supply and time of supply will be determined in this background. So if anybody would like to say on this, what according to you is this? Is it a composite supply or is it a mixed supply, given the fact that food facilities provided, gym facilities provided, play equipment areas are provided, and other facilities of recreation, sports facility. They are providing all the equipment also. So two of my friends are saying that it is a composite supply. Uh, I would like them to unmute them and say if they reason if they want to share.
Hello.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So given the facts of the case study,
Yes, sir.
the main supply or the main component is basically renting of immovable property. And they are charging a consolidated amount for that particular supply. There is no bifurcation of any of the components. Even if they have been provided, students have been provided the other facility of gym, food, etc. But there is no option for them to whether not to avail or avail. There is no option with them. So considering all these facts, it is a case of a principal supply of renting, and accordingly the tax rate has to be charged.
But sir, let's say if I see the whole scenario in the nearby region, and we were seeing normally hostel accommodation in the nearby areas, let's say, do not provide this kinds of facility along with the hostel. Can in this scenario again you will say it is a composite supply?
Particularly, you have put a facts that this is a case of Kota, Rajasthan, wherein all the suppliers are providing in the similar manner.
No, sir, I have not. I stated that Kota, they are establishing new hostel in the Kota, and let me clarify if there is any misunderstanding. The some only a few or some of the hostels are providing this kinds of facilities or packages type of, let's say, a package of gym equipments or recreational facilities, and food facility, even though food facilities are available in much more hostel facility,
So,
much larger.
even if
Yes,
these
sir.
are the facts, and some of them are providing all these facilities, and some of them are providing standalone the renting facility, and some of them may be providing the food or gym, etc., not providing the renting. So based on that, their composition would be decided. But in the given facts, that would not affect in the given facts of the case study. And still,
Sir, let's say even if there are only one or two players available in the nearby area who are providing such kinds of package, are you saying still this will be composite supply?
yes, my answer would be still it would be composite.
And the very reason behind, if I'm an authority which is countering you, saying that, see, everybody is providing only the hostel facility and food facility, you are additionally adding the facilities of gym and facilities of recreation and sports and otherwise.
So Ramandeep, can we take a stand here that if I'm not taking accommodation, then I will not be eligible to take the gym facilities and the recreation?
Correct. The very primary thing mentioned in the fact itself is that, see, the food facility is not available even if you are not taking any accommodation. Even the other facility is not available if you are not taking accommodation. So you have to take accommodation facility, then only you can have the other facility available.
Right.
If anybody want to contribute in that, anything.
Sir, if you are not able to provide any breakup for, separately for what is the food expenses and what is being charged for the rental, then the entire amount will be viewed as accommodation charges alone, right?
Okay.
The important point, I think, that the caveat which you have put, that one cannot go standalone for the food or standalone for the gym without having renting.
Right.
Can I add something to this?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. See, it depends on, let me hypothetically say I am this person offering all these services.
Yes, ma'am.
So I will charge you 20,000 rupees, whether you use gym or not, whether you use food or not. So I'll make it as naturally bundled. I will not give a separate price for food separately, for gym separately, for room accommodation. If I don't give that, then it is naturally bundled. But if I'm going to give a 3 different offers, if you're going to pay, use gym, pay that extra money. If you're going to pay for food, pay that extra money, it can be categorized as mixed supply. But when I am telling, like in a community, in a resident welfare association, you pay 7,500 rupees per month as maintenance. Whether you use gym or not, it is naturally bundled into 7,500 rupees.
Right. Right.
So if the
Right.
supplier, as a supplier, if he is able to prove that it is only naturally bundled, that means whether the user is using it or not, I am charging for the entire amount. Then we can call it as naturally bundled. Otherwise, the officer has every right to question. See, if you can answer it, if you can provide a gym separately, that means there is an element where it is not naturally bundled. It can be categorized as a mixed supply. Is my contention
Right.
on this case.
Right. So Renuka ma'am, you are saying that if there is any facility available in this hostel to outsiders also in the form of gym or in the form of food, then it would be difficult to say that it's a composite supply, because these facilities are again available for extra charges to other people. And in the given case, it is a single price and it is not available for outsiders who have not taken any accommodation facility. That is why it is called composite supply. Right, ma'am? So
That
one,
is my point. Here, the bifurcation has to be very clear.
yes,
So if this the purpose of the defining this accommodation provision matters a lot in this particular case, whereas you say the gym, when it is free, it is allowed for outsiders,
right,
and it is allowed only for the purpose of using gym and nothing else. So
right,
if the supplier has got a different package for that,
yes,
then there is a stand that there can be two things. But with respect to this hostel accommodation of students who are going to use food and the gym services, I feel the way in which that we present will have a better say when we go for a litigation is my contention, sir.
yes, ma'am.
Normally,
Mr.
if we,
Ramandeep,
one thing.
sorry, carry on.
So
Yes, sir.
what happens when a student is not availing any facility of food, then normally the package is different, and with availing food, the package is different. So
Correct.
there is no bifurcation, but there are two type of packages. One who is availing the food and accommodation both without bifurcation. One who is not availing the food but only availing the accommodation services.
Accommodation, right.
Yeah, normally this happens.
Normally, yeah. Normally there are two types of package. Yes,
Yeah.
Mr. Ganesh, you were saying something.
Yeah, see, if you look at the definition of composite supply, it talks about the conjunction with each other in the ordinary course of business. So in the ordinary course of business, in my view, should be looked at from the perspective of the person who is rendering the service or rendering the supply. So we cannot compare with the industry as such, okay, how the industry or how the area functions, whether in
Yes.
quota everyone is doing this or
Yes.
something like that. So this is an ordinary course of business of the particular supplier. So when that is in the nature of composite supply, then I think it should be a composite supply cannot be a mixed supply.
Sir, you can recall just a few slides back, I was discussing some few indicators given in the service tax education guide. I just wanted to highlight that also, that in various situations, what the authorities usually do is they stick to that particular indicator and saying that when it will be called as a bundle of services, when majority of the service provider in that area use this similar package, and they will stick to that particular situation only, and they will say no, it will be treated as mixed supply and not composite supply. So that one issue I wanted to highlight by this. There is one case.
Ramandeep ji,
Yes, sir.
if I may be allowed to interrupt.
Yes, sir, Harish ji, please.
So this with reference to what Renuka madam had to say. See, there are hotels who will give breakfast free, and there and also allow booking of rooms only for accommodation. And I can also, as a walk-in customer, go and have breakfast there.
Right.
Now, just because breakfast is being made available to one category of person free of cost, and to another it is not made available at all, and to a third walk-in without accommodation also breakfast is being made available, still for the first case where breakfast is being made freely available, it will be a composite supply. So even though a small facility is being made available to the third party, we cannot come to the conclusion, according to me, that it cannot be treated as a composite supply.
Agreed.
That is
Agreed,
point
Anish ji.
number one, sir.
Agreed, Anish ji. Yes.
Point number two, what again Renuka madam was saying is, this is my personal view, that because there is no breakup of food, gym, etc., and a single price is being charged, it is a composite supply. I would think single price is a feature of mixed supply. Composite supply will remain composite even if I show a breakup. So even if I say there is no option for you, accommodation 10, food 5, laundry 2500. I
Right.
am giving the breakup for whatever reason, but still it will be liable to tax as if it is a composite supply only.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely agree. Agree, sir.
Sir,
One.
and to add to what
Yes, madam.
Manish is saying, first if you are providing food along with the accommodation services, so whether it will be another point of view is we need to identify whether it is a supply of goods or services.
Right.
But anyway, food is you cannot say it as a supply of goods; it will be supply of services only, and there is no bifurcation that you can do, right?
Right. 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 So
And the problem also will arise, it also depends upon the rent of the accommodation. The rent of the accommodation comes below the limit, it will be an exempt supply, food will be taxable supply, so automatically jump to mixed supply because there is one exempt supply and one taxable supply. Because composite supply is applicable only when there are two or more taxable supply. That means any n number of supplies in the composite supply must be taxable. Even if
Right.
it is one is exempt, automatically it goes to mixed supply category. That also is an important point that we have to ponder, I think, in this place.
Yes.
I
Yes.
disagree, madam.
Sir, please state your views.
Now, let us assume that if we read composite supply in such a strict fashion, the intent behind the bringing about the two categorizations of single composite supply and mixed supply will be defeated. We have to look into composite supply based on two categories, in my opinion. One, what is the supplier's business, as it's already been discussed, and what is the intention being achieved through that supplier. And two, whether the supplies are actually divisible and is given as an option to the recipient. So if there is a option available to the recipient and it's being added on, even then it could be a composite supply and it could be a separate supply based on which how it can be built. If you remember the 2012 education guide, even though it has no legal sanctity, it talks about this hotel example in two ways. One, they discuss when a bouquet of packages can be treated as a mandap keeper service. At the same time, it could be treated as mandap keeper accommodation plus some other service. And at all the same time, the entire bundle as such could be treated as a convention service. So the same kind of activities, depending on how the agreement is structured, can be standalone supplies, composite supplies, or an altogether a different supply based on how you structure the agreement between the supplier and the recipient. So you cannot apply a hard and fast rule to classification of a composite supply.
Then shouldn't we, I mean, sir, my only concern is the definition. Because the definition of composite supply under section 2 is clearly says two or more taxable supplies.
So if I go to a hospital for some
surgery,
surgery, I am given a room and I'm being treated. I don't take medicines. I'm just admitted into a room. I'm treated. So in this case, would you say that healthcare services is exempt, the room is taxable, so it is not a composite supply? No, you have to see taxable supplies in the context of the definition as per section 2 starting. So taxable supply cannot be limited to mean only those which are not exempt. You have to see which are leviable as the larger picture.
Yeah. Yes.
So those are my thoughts on that. Anyway, please let us continue the discussion.
Yes, sir. So I was pointing out this AAR ruling, which was similarly on the similar facts. It says the conclusion was held that it is not naturally bundled, it is not composite supply, and the reason given by the authority is that different elements are easily available separately and they are not integral to one overall supply. So the facts are very similar. But again, as we have discussed rightly, that even if these different elements are separately available even though for a single price or for to the different customer, or there are different walk-in customer also, still that can be considered as a composite supply, and this will not be a mixed supply. We already have discussed. Then there are some other questions which I have pointed out, that what will be the HSN code and how will the place and time of supply will be determined in case when it is held to be a composite supply. So if we see the requirements given in the Act in Section 8, it says that in case of a composite supply, it will be treated as a principal supply. Whatever the treatment which is given to the principal supply will be given to the complete bundle. And in case of mixed supply, it will be given the treatment of the supply which attracts the highest rate. So do we say that we have to change any HSN code, or the HSN code will remain the same, but the rate of tax will be only changed? What you all say?
The HSN code has to be of the main supply, which is the accommodation services.
Okay. So HSN code again need to change.
Yeah, it will be 9963 only, as you had shown in the slide.
Right. Any other view on this? Any other view on this? And ma'am, how let us discuss the next question also. How the place and time of supply will be determined?
The place of supply will be where the services are actually rendered, right? That is
I think
in Rajasthan.
Again on the basis of the main principal supply. Are we saying this?
Yes, based on the main principal supply itself.
Right. Any contrary view on this? Or all of us are in the same page?
I just want to share one practical situation which I am right now handling now.
Yes, ma'am.
It's again a question of composite supply and mixed supply. I have this person who is exporting steel castings.
Yes, ma'am.
And clearly, yes, it is a clear question of export supply. I mean, zero rated supply. That is, there is no issues in that. But what he is supposed to do is he has to test the castings.
Yes.
So for that, he gets a QC being done for that he charges testing charges separately. I mean, along with the bill, but without doing the testing process, the steel castings cannot be exported.
Yes.
So to get the approval, he has to take a X-ray of the castings before testing and after testing, and he sends this X-ray for approval. And once the buyer approves it, then he exports. So he is facing a situation where one of his client, he wants a bill only for the steel castings separately, and testing charges he wants a separate bill.
Right.
For whatever might be the reason. It's a very challenging situation here. When you go for the testing, when you want to issue a separate bill for the export of steel casting, zero rated supply, no issue at all. But with respect to testing charges, the testing is done where the goods are situated. The goods are situated inside in Indian territory. So can this person issue an export zero rated supply invoice? Because the testing happens in the country.
Right. Madam, you went on mute. Yeah.
Very challenging thing we'll be handling.
Yes. Absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. This is very litigatable, and they will be classified as intermediary services and not as exports.
On the face, it may sometimes look very absurd that how this is treated as a composite supply of goods, even though it's a testing service. But if we see the larger picture, then we can come to conclusion that it is because of the composite supply nature.
Exactly.
And-
So you end up telling, yes, sir.
And
Yes, ma'am.
And here, because you are actually exporting the goods out of the country, one will be a clear supply of goods and another will be a clear supply of services, which you cannot include part of the shipping bill, right?
No, no, the thing is, we are talking about HSN codes, right? So the
Yeah.
entire process, even one of the other members was also telling, just because you write 2 to 3 line items, it does not spoil the nature of the composite supply. Here, unless the testing is done on the castings cannot be exported.
Cannot
It is
be.
naturally
Correct.
bundled.
Correct.
Though you
Correct.
may call them as testing charges, quality control, whatever name that you want, you can give. But the
Yes.
process itself is naturally bundled, though we are using 2 different terms. And this particular person is asking for 2 different bills. One is a 0 rated supply bill of export of steel castings, and another one is for testing charges. So you end up telling that if you are going to issue a separate, though it is a composite supply, naturally bundled, all the provisions of composite supply applies. In the clear case, the business is involved. Unless and otherwise this person is going to issue a bill separately for testing charges, he is not going to get the business. And when testing charges
right.
is separately given, then it is covered under section 13, and automatically we have to give an all-inclusive invoice separately. This is one practical situation that I
Right.
am facing right now.
Right, ma'am. Right. Right.
Just
So,
one thing
now
here,
we are
Renuka ma'am.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anish ji, go ahead.
Ma'am, if you look at section 13, I think that's what you're referring to, 13.3, which says goods should be made physically available. The place of supply will be the place where the goods are physically made available. And those goods should be physically be made available by the recipient. Okay. So now you are supplying the goods. Has the recipient made these goods physically available to you, or the goods were already available with you? Because 13.3a will come into picture only when the recipient makes the goods available to you.
Right. So,
No,
perfect.
that's really a very good point to think over. Because the
Yes,
goods is
yes.
manufactured here and the testing is being done here.
Correct. Right. So let us
But
move
when
ahead
the
to
supplier gives an order, I mean, this
ma'am.
slide may slightly out of way and slightly hypothetical.
We
Being
are
a
out of way.
recipient, if I'm going to order for the purchase order, I'm asking you to manufacture these goods. I'm giving you the permission to do that. Doesn't legally permit the making the goods available by the recipient?
Now, if you're saying that the recipient has made the goods available, that means there are two contracts. One for you to manufacture, and second, once manufactured, to make it available for testing. When there are two contracts, then it cannot be a composite supply then.
Honey,
Can
sir,
we-
what
can
if
we-
there's
can
a
we-
agreements between that unless you test it, the other one supply will not be effectuated? So can we say that both contracts are codependent and needs to be read as one?
Correct. If that be the case, meaning my answer was based on a specific alteration to the original facts. If the
Okay.
single contract says you can export, and again my view only here, if you can export only after testing and that X-ray shows some parameters, only after that you can export, then it is a single contract. Then nobody has made these goods available. So 13.3a will not come into picture.
Right.
So testing is not a supply of service, but only a precondition for the supply of goods.
Good.
Correct.
Right.
The problem will be only when we are going to, face the officer and proving all these things, because the export supply will include only the value of goods. It will not include the value of services. So the separate invoices being verified only for testing charges, the
Right.
officer will take the stand of telling the goods have not moved out of the country when you did the testing. So he may go in for it's a clearly litigatable area. That's what I just
Right.
wanted to share with you all.
Right.
Because at the
Right,
end of the
right.
day, practical purpose of proving the invoices, the invoice becomes the major document of proving the supply. So here you have two invoices, one for a 0 rated supply and one for testing charges.
Correct.
I'm not too sure about this, but just saying this, see, assuming the value of the goods which we are exporting is $100 and testing comes to $10, maybe the customer is filing the bill of entry only for $100 and paying customs duty in his country for $100. And that is why he wants a separate bill for testing. Because if you add 10 to the main invoice, he ends up paying customs duty on 110. Maybe.
Precisely.
So
that is why he might have requested you to invoice
Exactly.
differently. Yeah.
yeah, so if that be the case,
Yes.
then 100 is export. 10 either has to be export in your hands as export of service and import in his hands. And whether reverse charge of on service is applicable to his country or not, he will have to comply. Otherwise, you might end up paying taxes. One of the two will happen.
Right.
Precisely.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So can we move ahead with the next case study to discuss some other concepts? So
Yes, sir.
let
Yes,
us
sir.
let
Sorry.
us. No,
Sorry,
no, no
bought
problem,
time
sir.
ले लिया इस
No,
पे. Sorry.
no issues, sir. No issues, sir. No issues. Ultimately, it is the principles and the benefits which is accruing to all of us, not an issue at all. So case study number 2 is on supply of goods or services. It's again a concept which is very recent to our country, is relating to EV charging point related. So it's a hypothetical case where a Sadani group of companies planning to provide a service of recharging points for electric vehicles. There are two-wheelers as well as four-wheelers. It is for two-wheelers as well as for four-wheelers. Plan to carry out this activity consists of installation and operation of electric vehicle recharging station, which is accessible to the public. Now, these stations will have specified multi-standard chargers, which are in general very quick charger connected. And there are also options available for slow chargers also. The standard electric charges, the standard time for charging 80% capacity will be very fast from 20 to 30 minutes. While there will be slow chargers also that will take around 3 to 4 hours or 4 to 6 hours also. The supply provided during each charging session would be in principle depend upon the consumer needs, and the transaction consisting will be the facilities which will be provided will be that there will be a technical assistance also which will help them to the charger to connect with the operating system of their vehicle. There will be supply of electricity also. There will be adjustment based on the parameters of their batteries, and there will be necessary technical support also as and when it was needed. The company also has created a special platform, a website or IT application from where they will provide these services. There can be, they can reserve their connectors, they can pay the payment from the app also, they can have wallet facility also. This supply also includes a parking fees charged for the parking of vehicle during the charging. The price billed to user would depend upon the duration of charging session, expressed in terms of hours for slow chargers and in minutes in case of quick chargers connector. Right? Payments could be made after each charging session or at the end of agreeing billing period without excluding the possibility of implementing system enabling user to purchase credits accumulated in e-wallets, which could be used to recharge the electric vehicle concerned. So there can be a facility of wallet also. There will be facility that incentive in the form of credits or coins will also be given. The payment can be made after each charging point, or there will be a period of billing also. In this background, the question is there any one single lump sum amount? If one single amount is charged from customer, is it a supply of goods or services? Does the factor that the price is billed based on the duration of charging, not on electricity consumed, important in determining above? And the second question is, if we assume that the charges by the company will be divided into two parts, one for the electric charges based on the number of units consumed, and one for the services like charger type, parking fees, technical help, etc., will your answer change or it will remain the same? So I have given you two scenarios, that if one lump sum amount is charged from the customer, and in the second scenario is, let's say it will be divided into two parts. The first part is for based on the actual electricity consumption, based on number of units consumed, they will bill for electricity. And number two will be for other different facilities, charger facilities, technical support facilities, parking fees, and etc. etc. What will be your answer? Is it a supply of good or service or what? Anybody who want to share his or her view? So Virenji in the message saying it's a service being charging. What according to you, why Virenji it is a service? Can you share your views?
Yeah. Basically, I have going to that station only for the purpose of charging my vehicle. So
Okay, sir.
my primary object is to get the charging of the EV, and that is a particular service which I am availing. I am not going for any goods, even if you divide the consideration between the two parts. That is, one is electricity units which I have consumed during charging, and other for the other charges of parking and all these things. Still,
Okay.
what for I am going there? I am going there
Okay.
for the purpose of charging facility, using a charging facility. I am paying for that. So that is a principal supply which I want to take, and therefore it is a supply of service in my
In
view.
both the in both the scenario you are saying
Both the
it
scenarios, yes.
it will be a composite supply of service.
Yes.
So just to counter one point, that when we go to, let's say, a fuel station to purchase petrol, diesel, or something like that, there are some other facilities also provided in the form of cleaning of our vehicle, free air facility, free launch facility, or other type of. In that scenario, it becomes, does it becomes a supply of service, or it still remain the supply of that particular goods only?
My view is that I have gone to the petrol pump only for the purpose of taking a fuel. If any added facility is provided during that period of cleaning of the vehicle or air pressure and all these things, that is not my intention to get. I have gone there for the purpose of getting fuel, and that is purely a supply of goods.
Sir,
not-
in this situation also, I am going there to have electricity consumption and electricity to my vehicle. And in this process, if some other facilities are provided, they are just ancillary and supporting services. Why can't electricity be a composite supply, sir, in this situation?
So I'm not going for the purpose of taking the electricity or buying the electricity from them.
Sir, when I am going to charging station,
Yeah.
then I am buying electricity only, sir.
Not buying the electricity. My intention is not to buy the electricity. My intention is to charge my vehicle.
So how the vehicle will get charged, sir? Electricity units will flow
Through the
from
help of
X to
electricity
Y.
only. Yeah, but I'm not purchasing the electricity. My intention is not to buy the electricity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other view?
Sir, also we'll have to look at the state laws,
Yeah.
whether they allow sale of electricity by these charging stations. Because
Yeah,
the way
yeah,
the
Hanishji,
infrastructure is being built-
yeah,
Hello.
coming to your point, we have a Ministry of Power circular which says that when there is a charging of EV is done, then it will be treated as a sale of service only. You are saying?
Correct.
Are you? Yes, there is a circular by Ministry of Power. So are you saying because of this circular, it should be treated as supply of service?
Not only because of the circular, but logically what the other participant, Virenji, I think, was trying to mention,
Yes, sir.
that I don't buy electricity. The charging is through electricity, but I am not buying electricity. Unlike in case of petrol, where petrol is being stored in the tank, I can remove petrol again and sell it to anybody else also, or use it for some other purposes. Here, the electricity is also already got converted. I don't know which form of energy, but it is already got converted. I can consume it in that form only in my vehicle only. So I'm not buying electricity there. What I'm getting is a facility to charge my batteries.
Okay. In situation number 2, at least, sir, when there are two separate bills are raised based on the number of units consumed and one on the basis of other facilities. In this situation also, sir?
Yes, unfortunately, I believe whether you break the bill or not, that's only a way in which you're collecting money. One, you're saying,
Right.
I will charge you 5 rupees per unit. Second, you're saying, I will charge you for all access to apps and all 50 paise. But for everything else on actual basis, 4 rupees 50 paise. End of it, you're coming to the same price here, more or less here and there. but it's only a mechanism to collect money, and end usage remains the same according to me.
Can I? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And
Please,
plus, the GST Act itself has prescribed the transmission and distribution of electricity will be service under 9969. So 9969 clearly says that it is service only. So we can never take it as goods. And in the second scenario, maybe if you treat it as a mixed supply, then for the other collaterals like parking charges and all those kind of things, we'll have to go with 18%, and electricity alone will be exempt.
Okay.
No, in the second case, I don't think mixed supply will come, because the second situation itself is that I'm breaking everything, and mixed supply requires a single
Single
price.
price. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Any view on this? Any other reason or any other thing?
No,
Does
if I
it-
replace the car charger and I say I brought in a DG set and I used it for charging, will the same analogy hold?
Sir, you are saying I will replace my chip chargers, and I say that I have a DG set with me. Yeah.
And I'm charging. So is it a supply of a transfer of right to use goods or renting of goods or sale of electricity?
Okay. Point, sir.
I didn't get this. Sorry, sir, if you can repeat or if you can elaborate a little.
Haniji, Oni sir is saying that in here they are giving just a charging point from where you can connect your charger and charge your vehicle. Instead that they are having a digital a generator, let's say a generator, and by connecting to that generator you can only get your vehicle charged. Even electricity is produced there then and there itself through generator.
Then we should forget GST and then think that why I did take electric vehicle at all when it is not serving any purpose. That becomes larger question on a lighter side.
I
Sir,
think
my question is, can we treat all this as individual supplies and not treat it as a composite supply?
because let's say every services has its own importance, and no single services can be treated as a principal supply, because charging is also important, supply of electricity is also important, and that is why each has its own importance. And because it says because there are some different types of chargers also available, technical supports are also available. Is it because of that, ma'am?
Yeah, and also because electricity is exempt, and the other services are not exempt.
Yes. We can definitely try to explore. Let me share, if there is any view left we can discuss, or let me share you some case laws relating to that. I have been able to found not in our case losses, but I've gone through ECG judgments, which says that when there was one ECG judgment of this, where in the lower courts, first in the regional administrative courts in Warsaw, Poland, it was held that the primary intention was only enabling them to recharge their vehicle quickly and efficiently, and to provide the technologically advanced recharging device. And then it says that if they are only purchasing electricity, they would have gone to their home network and they would have taken this facility. But it is because of different connectors, batteries, and chargers which will help them to charge their vehicle quickly and efficiently, they are taking these services. And price is also is charged not on the basis of consumption of energy, but on the basis of hours or minutes. And that is why the lower court of Regional Administrative Court of Poland held that it is a supply of services. But when this matter went to European Court of Justice, ECJ, it says that whenever a goods is supplied, they are always accompanied by the minimal supply of services. And they are only services, and other than those which are necessarily accompanying the marketing of goods. So they say that there will be always some kind of supply of services when a goods is marketed, and then say this, that the transaction consisting of supply of electricity to the battery of an electric vehicle constitutes supply of goods insofar as the transaction enable the users of recharging station to consume goods. And they say that electricity is goods as defined in the constitution. It is a tangible property which can be transferred from one person to another person. The third reason they have given to treat it as an goods, they say that the suitable charging device is nothing but a transmission mode only. Whenever this charging device is connected, the technical support is provided, no services are being provided, only it facilitates the transfer of goods from one place to another. And last point they say is that the technical support which may be necessary is not an end itself, but a means of better enjoyment, the supply of electricity necessary. And that is why these services are nothing but an ancillary to the supply of electricity. So this is one view that one view which is held in the European court, which says that it is a supply of electricity. Another reason they have given is quantity of electricity supply is dependent upon the power transferred. So the cross they have done is why the recharging cost is calculated on the basis of number of minutes or hours, may have been calculated based on the units that are consumed during the charging of vehicles. And that is why, even though this charger session is providing fast and efficient, but the speed and efficiency cannot be considered as a predominant element and to be held as the charging to be supply of services and electricity, then supply of goods. So all of these reasons are given in European Court of Justice, this judgment, and it says that it is a supply of goods. Now, if there is any view of all of you to counter this or anything, again, the controversial part of this is in our country, a circular has been issued by Ministry of Powers, which says that it will be treated as supply of services, as rightly pointed out by Hanish ji also, that whether we are allowed to sell electricity in the usual course of market. But my question is whether this circular issued by Ministry of Power will play a role in the GST Act itself, because we see that wherever our law creates a link, then they are specifically mentioned in the law itself or in the notification itself. Like we see in the real estate case, it has linked different things with RERA, then there are difference clearly mentioned. But in this case, it's just a circular given by Ministry of Power, which says that for this X reasons, majorly because electricity cannot be sold, they have treated it as an services. Can this logic be thoroughly and in the same way can be applied to GST and said that it is a supply of services, or we have to see differently all things together? Yes, if anybody wants to say anything on this.
So just to add another point here, see, the point now is lot of these companies are coming up with charging stations. They want to pay tax actually, because otherwise the input becomes a cost. So now we are seeing a lot of companies saying, okay, if there is a gray area, I don't mind paying, because today my capex is so high and I'm just writing that off. So I don't mind paying output tax and claiming input credit. So
And
even the
Hanish-
perception of the industry is also changing.
Correct. And Haniji, that is why our second option could be a one scenario which would be very helpful, where we are saying, and Madam was also pointing, that it is neither a composite supplier nor a mixed supply. Both are independent supplies. Supply of electricity is again important. Supply of technical support and charging chargers are also important. So can we treat both of these services independently and separately bill this and pay tax on other services and treat the supply of electricity as an exempt?
मेरे हिसाब से मुश्किल है सर थोड़ा.
Difficult. Yes. Anything, anyone?
The point is you cannot sell charging without providing parking or without providing technical support. It's all so blended together that it is very difficult to say they are all individual supplies.
Independent supply, correct. Right, right. So it's again a very litigative point which we have seen. Let's see in the course of time what colors it will take. Now let's come down to the third case studies, which is on the subject receiver's perception. The case says that X Limited has got a major renovation done in their offices, and where they have given a lump sum contract to an interior designer. The contract not only includes some work relating to an immovable property, but also includes supply of equipment like air conditioner, LED screens, etc., and supply of office furniture. The interior designer has raised invoice treating the complete contract as a work contract supply, treating as a composite supply. The invoice raised by the interior designer has complete line item wise breakup of the work contract services, equipment, furniture, etc. However, the HSN code and rate of tax mentioned on the invoice was of work contract supply. X Limited is in doubt about the accounting treatment in the books of account and availment of input tax credit. They have raised the following concern and asked the member to give their opinion. Can the receiver account for supply differently than what was billed? If the interior designer bill, the whole supply is a composite supply of work contract, can X Limited record items separately? And in that case, can they claim input tax credit of equipment, furniture supplied in the contract, though billed as an work contract supply? So I hope you might have got the idea that as an work contract supply, the interior designer have treated it as a work contract supply, being a composite supply, but in the bill they have given complete breakup of furniture fixtures, whatever equipment they have provided, whatever chairs, whatever things they have done, they have given complete breakup of that. In this situation, can the receiver account this differently under the different head, and can they avail the ITC of equipments which are movable, furnitures which are movable, even though the supplier has compositely billed it as a work contract supply? They have used carefully the HSN code of, they have built the HSN code of the work contract only. They have applied the rate of tax of work contract only. Yes, if anybody. Yes, sir.
In the case of solar panels and all this, that rework matter also. That since the billing has been done on a composite basis, taking the credit on a basis.
Okay. Okay.
So and because I'm already fighting a show cause notice where the similar incident has happened. And they are saying that when you had the contract, when you had the agreement, why didn't you have two different contracts? One for supply of furniture and the other movable things, and one for the works contract. You deemed it fit to be having a single contract. That means you could get some leverage out of this. So you cannot take two instances, one from commercial point of view, one from taxation point of view. So we are trying to fight that out, saying that that is not a part of the definition of works contract services. So that's why it will be allowed, the ITC will be allowed. But again, it's hugely litigated.
Right. Right.
Because the interesting part I'll share is that here, the show cause notice has come, not because of any of the audits or anything. It has come from 2B review by the proper officer. The officer was reviewing the 2B and somehow they got the HSN, which I am getting, for the 2B, for the ITC. From there, got issued as notice for cement. We also got some cement also loosely.
You're
Apart
right,
from
sir.
that, we should notice for this.
Even we are these days getting notices based on this 2B scrutiny saying that you have bought a motor vehicle, Mercedes Benz, your director has bought. Whether you have taken the ITC or not, you just tell us and confirm.
Yes, exactly.
These kinds of notices are coming. So here my question to all of you is, can receiver and seller both treat them differently? Or whatever treatment as per section 8 is given by the supplier, either based on composite supply or mixed supply, the receiver has to follow the same.
Ramandraji, this is Gaurav. I have a perspective here. See,
Yes, sir.
as you're discussing this case, I appreciate the discussion. But
Yes, sir.
like as a recipient of services, I am the person who decides what I have to receive. So
Correct.
as Arup correctly said that if we can bifurcate the things at the very beginning, we
Right.
cannot have two stand, one for commercial and one for tax purpose.
Correct.
So see, when I am receiving an air conditioner, I am receiving a furniture, and I want to, I am the recipient, so I have the power to make a decision. How do I need to treat it in my books of account? And
Yes.
the architect or the contractor better give me the invoice in the said fashion.
Right.
So it is always better to plan it before you get an invoice rather than then find out a solution to it. I mean,
Sir,
I'm giving
if you're,
practical discussion
yes,
on this, sir. I
yeah,
appreciate the issue.
yes, sir. I let us now then discuss another way in the similar way. If you can recall that for the sake of proper planning and take proper to avoid this ITC issue, some of us have engaged event management companies for our or for any of the dealer meetings or any of the conferences or meeting which are being taken outside our state. And in that case, we used to hire event management company. I hope in that event management company, the place of supply is where the registered person is located. And even we have seen, sir, practical cases that if event management company gives you the bill, a proper IGST bill, and in that, if they are giving some breakup of rent a cab and food and beverages, then in case of ITC, the department is taking objection that this is not event management services. In the event management services, you have taken the facility of rent a cab also and food and beverages also, then your this much amount of credit is will not be allowed. Now, this is another way. I have received a composite supply from the event management company, and they have given this under this HSN of event management. And in that, if there is any breakup, let's say of food and beverages or rent a cab, now my department is saying that because there is separate bifurcation given or separate thing mentioned about rent a cab or the bill breakup is given, for that you will not be able to have ITC. Yes,
Ramanji,
Gauravji.
if I'm allowed a comment on the lighter note, I think we should also have an invoice management company rather.
But but sir, I have heard with my friend from Maharashtra saying that this kinds of objections have came in the departmental audit even itself, where they are checking the bifurcation in the bill and they are saying that for food and beverages and rent a cab you will uh, we will not be allowed to take the input tax
Because
credit.
when I say invoice management company, the actual services are taking place. But like
Yes.
if things can be planned well in advance and then appreciate food and beverage, we can take a separate bill and take a 17(5) disallowance and close the matter there. Because if we leave it to the officer to decide, then obviously he will take revenue side only.
Sir,
Sir,
on similar lines, sir, with respect to tour operator, when they are booking tickets for the, for as a service, then the ticket cost also gets included in the price, and even the recipient will get at a very high rate. Correct.
yes, right. Ashutosh sir, you want to say something? Please unmute yourself and say something. We would like to hear you. You have posted some message.
Very good morning.
Yes, sir. Yes, Ashutosh sir.
Actually, I just wanted to put another scenario wherein the perception of the supplier should be taken as of now in this case, I suppose. Just because the reason that the taxation will be impacted, like in case of warranty. It is not fact and ITC is allowed only on the basis that supplier or already include that amount in the original invoice, not with the person of the recipient for whom it is free of cost.
So, sir, again, you are pointing out that the perception of the supplier will play a dominant role, not the receiver's perception.
Correct. As of now, what he is presenting to sell.
Right.
I mean, it can depend upon case to case, but major perception should be taken as supplier end also.
Right.
I would
Right.
like to add one thing here, Ramandeep sir.
Sir, please go ahead.
Sir, I mean, very well received comments from Ashutosh ji. But then again, sir, as a supplier, when I am charging tax, I don't think it makes a major difference to me because I am anyway paying output tax. What is main point of contention is how can the recipient avail maximum benefit of eligible and rightful ITC?
Right.
So it's again a terms of discussion between the recipient and the supplier.
Correct.
Supplier
That,
anyway has to pay the output tax.
Yes.
So one
Yes.
one additional point here. See, I think there's no question of perception either by the supplier or the recipient here. The reason being, when the contract itself is entered into, both of them have an agreement how this is going to be structured, right? So it's very clear for the recipient as well that how the billing also is going to happen. If there is any requirement of a split contract wherein the goods should be billed separately and then the works contract separately, those would have been got agreed to or they were entering into a contract. So now at the time of billing stage, it will be very difficult for the recipient to prove that no, the intent was to enter into, I mean, this is supply of all these equipments and then the partially it is a works contract. So for me, I feel that it will be very difficult to fight with the department when you already have a contract and then only for input as credit you want to take a different view.
And Ganesh sir, what will be your view in case, which I stated a reverse case, that I have hired a event management company and the whole thing were built at event management services, and there they have seen some breakups of food and beverages and rent-a-cab, whether that amount of credit will be disallowed to me, saying
See,
that they are
I
blocked?
think, yeah, I mean, if that is included, then probably that is the view the department is going to take. And I think as a recipient, if it was a decision which I had to take even before this is noticed or planning I had to do, then probably I would disallow a certain percentage towards those personal costs.
Ramandeep sir, I have an example here which I handled in case of Maharashtra, wherein a big hotel was actually took care of an event for a company, wherein the company actually took separate invoices for stay charges, for food and beverage, and for rent a cab for pickup and drop. And carefully, the pickup and drop charges and the food charges were not taken as ITC, and the hotel rental charges were taken ITC. And it actually sailed through even after a DRC one. The query came in basis the GSTR 2A.
Right.
But then it sailed through when we had separate invoices and proper care was taken while taking the ITC on such invoices.
So, sir, we actually are discussing a case where some things which has already been happened. I understand that we could have played a careful role in planning these situations and undertaken, but the point remains the same.
Sir, most of the times, again, on a comment that the client actually comes to us after the raita has already been spread across. I mean, they don't come to us before the planning happens.
Correct. Or Aurukji, I think the time has come. Time is, or what? Should I?
No, we have 5 minutes more. If you want to continue, we can continue.
Sir, we have a next one last case. I think we can quickly.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can quickly do that.
Yeah. We can quickly do that. So the last case is case study number 4, which is on relating to hospitals and ambulance, which is on splitting of supply. We had got let me just summarizingly explain you the case. There is a nursing home which is specializing in critical care treatment. And this nursing home has a facility that whenever a patient is admitted in the critical care unit, they give option to the patient attendant that they can stay in the common dormitory, or that attendant can book a separate room for him. Right? In this background, the nursing home is confused whether if a separate room is provided to the patient relative or attendant, since this room is not used by the patient, whether it will still be considered as an exempt supply or it will be a accommodation services taxable. The second question, let me club this first and we will discuss. The second question is that nursing home allows only a specific person to meet the patient when admitted to ICU or ICCU. And to maintain discipline and hygiene in the hospital, they issue a gate pass charges of ₹300 per person visiting the patient in the ICCU or ICU. And in this 300 rupees, they also provide some masks, caps, robes, and other wearable to person meeting the patient. Nursing home is in doubt whether this will be leviable to GST, as sometimes this 300 rupees charges are collected from the attendant or any relative who is coming to visit, and sometimes they are added to the patient cost only. And we have third situation again, as you are well aware, from 18th July, that 5% GST is charged on room rental when the room rental exceeds 5,000 rupees per day. In some of the planned surgeries, the hospital provides a complete package kind of thing, where for a single price, they will allow you fixed number of days to stay in ICU, fixed number of days, the room charges and doctor consultation, implant cost are also included in price. The nursing home is confused that if they charge a single price, there are some rooms given in this packages for which the costs are increased for which the costs are more than 5,000 per day. Then nursing home want to understand how the GST will be charged in this case. Whether they will be required to artificially split the charges in this case and pay tax on the room charges, or complete supply will be a composite supply and will be exempt, or it will be a mixed supply, or it will be an independent supply. So let us come to first case where it says that attendant is given a room, attendant is using, patient is not using, whether it will be an exempt supply or a taxable supply. Whether it is a composite supply, if anybody wants to say, or should I give my remarks and we'll quickly finish it up?
No, I'll just add one line on it. Here, the main challenge is the hospitals, they are billing this along with the patient billing.
Yes, yes.
So
yes.
that is one of the main challenges. So we need to
Yes.
see how it goes on future. So you can give your views, I think. Yeah. If there are
Yes,
other
sir.
views, also you can take that.
You're right, sir. Arup sir is right that sometimes it's a very challenging to identify particular supply. That whether to identify and to get it caught, it's very challenging. But there is circular issued which says that when a food is supplied to patient relative, it will be taxable. If we literally go by the meaning which is given in the circular, even in this case also, when a room is again given, room facilities or lodging facilities given to a relative of the patient, as per the circular, it will be taxable. But I believe this is a composite supply. The healthcare not only is for treatment, but also for the care of the patient itself. And whenever I am taking as an attendant or relative, I am not here for a separate stay. Whether any person who is not having patient can come to hospital just for the purpose of taking an accommodation is not at all possible. So I am of the view it is completely a composite supply, even though the circular is saying otherwise else. It is a composite supply. Healthcare, it will be an exempt supply. It's a part and parcel of my healthcare facility only, and it will be treated as an exempt supply. The second question was this 300 rupees charges collected from any relative or visitor, and they are also the description is mentioned is as to maintain discipline and hygiene. They are also providing masks, caps, robes, and other wearable also. Can we say that this 300 rupees charges collected is for the supply of these goods called masks, caps, robes, and another wearable, and is taxable? Or again, we will say that no, these are healthcare facility, healthcare services only, because the definition of healthcare not only includes treatment but care also. So this 300 charges rupees is for the purpose of maintaining, for the purpose of giving proper care to even for the patient only. And that is why even if there are some supply of goods also, but eventually they are care facility only, and these are part and parcel of healthcare services and will not be taxable. Even though sometimes it are collected from the relatives also, still consideration flow from third party is not a factor which will determine what nature the services has. So whether it is paid by the relative or it is added to the patient cost, I am of the view that it will be exempt supply and will be not taxable. if there is any other contradictory view or anything you would like to say, please share, or let us go to third point. The third point says that where a fixed package is there, and there are possibility that in this package, where the room which is given sometimes are of more than 5,000 rupees per day, per day charges, then how GST will be charged on that? Whether I would be required to artificially split it and charge tax, or my complete supply will be treated as an composite supply and will be considered as an healthcare services and will be taxable. As we see in case of solar, where they want to split artificially something to goods and something to services, they could have properly and carefully mentioned the mechanism also that they have given in that respective circular 70-30 or whatever the ratio they have prescribed. But in this kind of situation, when a complete package is provided, there is no splitting. I am of the view it is a composite supply, and the room rental will not be required to artificially split, and the complete charges will be covered under the healthcare services, and complete services will be an exempt supply. Any contradictory view or anything on this, please let me know. Arup ji, I am done with this. Before handing over to you, let me thank all the volunteers of our faculty group for wonderfully arranging all this session, for providing me this wonderful opportunity to interact with all the learned member of this group. Thank you once again. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Over to you, Arup ji.
Thank you, Ramandeep ji. Thank you for the wonderful deliberation. I'm sure, like me, everybody in the group has really enjoyed the entire deliberation today. So now I would like request Unni ji to offer a well-deserved vote of thanks.
I would like to thank, on behalf of all the members present here, Ramandeep ji, for taking us through the intricacies of composite and mixed supplies. It is interesting to note that even after 6 years of GST, we still have more to learn in the very core areas of GST. That is what a composite supply or a mixed supply can be in various businesses, and their modes of doing business are analyzed. So I'm sure that we'll be seeing more interesting developments in the field to come. And I'm sure that all the members acknowledge the same. And the fact that you have shown some light on certain interesting areas where none of which would not have come out unless we have discussed it and opened up the niche areas and where GST could pose a problem to not only suppliers who wish to pay taxes, but also the recipient who want to plan accordingly. It was very well received. So again, thanking you on behalf of everybody. So and thank the members for showing up today, Saturday. We'll be continuing our short Saturday morning sessions next week with more interesting topics. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So let's end the session. Have a wonderful weekend ahead.
Arunji, one request.
Yes, sir. Fully.
Sir, we have been saddled, all of us across the country, with lots of notices on DRC1 for financial year 17-18. Which most of us have been given 15 days, 21 days, 30 days to respond. So if at all something can be done in the coming Saturday, on what are the nitty-gritties or care points that we need to address in terms of the legality or the responses, I think most of us will get benefited from such a discussion if that can come up.
So you're saying ideally the topic would be how to address the DRC01 notices for 17-18 and, of course, the year forward also.
So I'm already worried about one thing, because when this notice are issued on 30th September, they have to issue an order by 31st December. So December will be very challenging, because again 18-19 time barring is happening on 31st December, and GST and 9-9 is also on 31st December. So we will have a very challenging quarter now going forward, with Diwali happening in November.
Yeah, with the Diwali celebrations, even GST celebrations are coming in. And this year I'm telling you, GSTR 9 is actually a nightmare with all this temporary reversal, permanent reversal, reclaiming.
Sir, force thing coming from August 22 regarding this carry over
Yes.
will actually, we had reached a stage wherein our table 10, 11, 12, 13 were finally going blank. I mean, after
Okay.
all meticulous planning at the client's end, now we are forced that there will be entries in those things and we have to take care of them.
Okay, Gaurav, so we have taken this point, so I'll discuss with the rest of the admins and then
Thank you,
we'll
sir.
plan something,
Thank you, sir.
Either,
So the original plan was to have Mr. Vaibhav to discuss on section 9, but since you have raised this point, we will have a discussion with Arpitji and Venu sir,
everyone,
and definitely take it into consideration.
Thank you,
yeah,
sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank you so much.
So I'm ending the session. Have a wonderful weekend ahead.